Awesome.
Hello, Beth.
Hi, Ashley. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for being here. And thank you to Contact Center Compliance for hosting this interview. I'm really excited to be here, really excited to talk to you. I know who you are, but for those who don't know you and don't know your company, give us a whirl.
Sure. So my name is Beth Kahn. I'm the co-founder and CFO of Anura.io. What we are is an ad fraud solution. So basically, we let you know if the person behind the keyboard is real or fake.
Of course, fraudulent activity is a really scary thing, right? Nobody really wants that in their data stack. So how do you help businesses with that fraud? What does that technically mean? What kind of fraud are you looking for, and what kind of fraud are you able to detect?
Sure. So we're able to detect any type of ad fraud. So basically, anybody who's advertising on any channel on the internet has fraud. 25% of all paid advertising is fraudulent. So, right. So ad fraud's become a huge problem. It's just going to get worse and worse as AI develops. So 5 years ago, it was about an $8 billion problem. Last year, it was $100 billion.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just going to get worse because more and more people are advertising on digital channels.
Right.
There's money to be made in fraud. So we're going to constantly be changing what we're doing.
Absolutely. And with that big of an increase, I can only imagine how busier you have become. And I know that you have kids and family at home. So how do you manage that work-life balance and still be able to stay successful and meet the needs of your businesses that you're working with?
Well, for me, family first, family always. So my priorities is always going to be to my family first. But I'm able to juggle it because this is a digital age. So I can go to a lacrosse game and grab my phone and respond to any particular emails that I might need to add to, respond to. And then at night when my kids go to bed, I'm able to go and answer emails, write a blog, service customers, balance my checkbook. I mean, a million other things.
Right. So it's no longer a 9-to-5 job.
No.
It's a in between your family life job.
Right. And I think it's important too to find your group. It says it takes a village to raise a family. Don't be afraid to depend on people. So, I have multiple children. They're all pretty much the same age. So it was like, okay, you guys drop off to football. I'll pick up from cheerleading and I'll drop off to soccer. Use people, your spouse, other family, and take
friends.
The time. So you're able to do it. Absolutely.
Yeah. And communicating and making sure that communication's there, that you're staying organized, right? Because the last thing you want to do is miss one of your family's, soccer events or cheerleading events.
Right.
That's definitely something that's really important. And it's always good to put
in business. I think it's also important to be honest. Let people know that you're a mom. Sorry I wasn't able to get back to you. I was busy with my kids. If people don't understand, then they don't have a heart. Because I think that anybody who has a family has to manage both, and you can do it.
Well, in this day and age too, there's actually a lot of benefits that can come to that, because sometimes if they're in a different time zone, especially, right? If you get an email sent out at 10 o'clock because you're not working a normal 9-to-5, that person overseas may be getting that during their normal business hours.
Exactly.
So there's actually a lot of benefit that can come of that too, and being able to try. And no one's going to die either. And if you don't get a response back in an hour.
Yeah, I just think it's manageable. And I think everyone needs to know that. A lot of times we're not commuting an hour and a half into the city anymore. Our commute means get up out of bed, look decent from the waist up, and go sit in front of a computer.
Exactly. And everyone's working from home now too. So that's it's even more, it's happening even more now, right? Maybe not as much as the fraudulent activity.
Yeah. I just think it's easier now.
Exactly.
There's no excuse why you can't do both. And, understand that it doesn't always work sometimes, but okay, take a deep breath, take a step back, and try it again.
Absolutely. And so obviously your kids are going to be able to spend a lot more time. You're able to become more impressionable to them and lead them into the right decisions, and which is of course what every mother wants to do. But of course you have to do that in your business life too. And where do you see yourself? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind in your professional life?
Well, obviously I want to be known for being able to juggle both my family and my business, while fighting fraud, because I think it's an important part of business. And I think as fraud gets worse, we have to be proactive and conscionable and,
And it's necessary.
It's absolutely necessary. I think a lot of people want to keep their head in the sand because they're afraid they're going to lose, financial gain. But eventually you're going to lose your business if you don't do something about fraud. So I think it's important to find out how much fraud you have, start making proactive measures to eliminate it, and then see the increase. that's the legacy I'd like to leave, just to show that you can do it. You know, don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to put your family first. Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
And don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah, thank you. That is definitely an important thing.
That's amazing. Yeah, absolutely. And you guys are definitely doing some amazing work over there, and I certainly know you guys very well. I send you guys people all the time. But compliance is becoming a really big topic, and with all of these changes that are happening now and will continue to evolve as we go into the next year, I feel like in my opinion, just because I know what you guys are offering, it's going to be almost required to have this information tracked and reported and in their system so that they can prove that they're doing their due diligence.
Yeah, there's no more ignorance anymore.
No more.
It's transparency, full board.
Whether that be explaining yourself or,
right,
on a business or personal, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, just open communication I think is really important. Yeah. Well, that's amazing. Well, you're amazing. Thanks, you know that. I appreciate you joining us here.
Thank you.
And now let's go have some fun. We're in Utah.